Hello, everybody. So Meghan Markle's family has made their appearance on, I think it was like Channel 7 or whatever in Australia, and it is out, and it was heart-wrenching to watch. If those of you who haven't seen it, it's Thomas Markle Sr., that is Meghan's dad, her brother Thomas Markle Jr., and Samantha Markle. Those are half brothers and sisters, and they are talking about Meghan and the relationship and what went down. And it's so sad because Thomas Markle had a stroke, and it's very, very sad. So let me know where you're coming in from. We're going to talk about that and some other royal news, because I like to talk about royal news. And we have King Charles's coronation coming just around the corner. It seems like everything, there's like fireworks everywhere. So welcome. Hi, everybody. It's really great to see you guys. And we're going to talk about this tonight. So I am Deanna from Hot for History. I am in a new location. I think I told many of you that I am moving. So I'm trying this out, hoping that things work to my benefit. The internet is good and all of that. But if not, then it's little technical difficulties and we will deal with it. So we're going to talk about Southwestern Indiana. You know what? I have family from that same area. My family's from Southern Indiana originally, but then moved their way up to Illinois, Northern Illinois. Clearwater, welcome. Oh, I don't know if you had the wins that we had. We've been having so many wins. I was like really concerned about going live tonight, but we're going to do it. We're going to talk about both of these families, King Charles's family and the Markle family. Thomas Markle, if you've seen it, let me know. Like, just tell me if you saw it. Thomas Markle had a stroke 4 years ago. Meghan or Harry never said, "Hey, are you okay? We're just checking in." Nothing. It's total ice, baby. They're done, right? And it's very, very sad. So we're going to talk first about this dysfunction in the family, like, and what King Charles is dealing with. And Mary said she just watched it. And yes, the wind was so scary. I'm in this new place, and it was like the window was going to come in. I tried to grill today, because those of us in Florida can grill any time of year, but it didn't quite work out. So we're going to talk about this first, because I want to set the stage. It's not all we do know. It seems like the massive amount of dysfunction right now, quite frankly, is coming from Meghan and Harry. It's this weird codependent relationship that Samantha Markle definitely brought up. And I'm sorry, but she was totally on. Like, no matter what they want to say about Meghan's family, maybe being upper middle class, not as fancy as them, they're sharp people. They are sharp people, and they're calling her out. They are honest. Samantha called her a narcissist. We'll get into that. But Harry's family, Harry dealt with his own stuff too. It's not necessarily, roses and lollipops. Your husband grilled in the wind. I don't know. I got to become an expert on grilling. Okay. I just watched. Okay. We're going to talk about it in a second. Let's talk about this first. Of course, when I want to read that, that's decline. Okay. So basically, let's just set the stage a little bit, because I felt like this article was good, because it says King Charles III lives in a palace, travels in a chauffeur-driven Bentley, and is one of Britain's richest men. But he's similar to many of his subjects in one way. His family is complicated, very complicated. There's a second wife. We're going to talk about that too in a second. An embarrassing brother, an angry son and daughter-in-law with allies who aren't shy about whispering family secret in the ears of friendly reporters. The new king will hope to keep a lid on those tensions when his royally blended family joins as many as 2,800 guests, which, by the way, is so much less than the 8,000 plus guests that was at Queen Elizabeth's coronation. For Charles's coronation on May 6th, which is coming up, guys, all except Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, are attending. How Charles manages his family drama over the coming weeks and years is crucial to the king's efforts to preserve and protect. Now, this is the core of everything. They're trying to protect the monarchy. At the end of the day, when you shift from monarch to monarch, you can lose the monarchy, and they've been trying to fight to save it for 1,000 years. And a couple hundred years ago, they did lose it with the first King Charles, got it back with the second. And here we are with the other King Charles, kind of ironic, auspicious, you could call it, interesting. How Charles manages his family drama over the coming weeks and years is crucial to the king's effort to preserve and protect the 1,000-year-old hereditary monarchy he now embodies. Without the respect of the public, The House of Windsor risks being lumped together with pop stars, social media influencers, and reality TV contestants as fodder for the British tabloids, undermining the cachet that underpins its role in public life. In other words, they need to keep, the appearance of being elegant, kind of above reproach, fancy, perfect, almost perfect, right? Impeccable in many ways, representing England quite well. That's how they should be presenting themselves. So royal historian Hugo Vickers says people should look past the sensational headlines. I thought this part was interesting and focus on what Charles accomplishes now as king. He says, in a sense, he sort of becomes a new man when he becomes king. Look at him as he is now. Look at him, the way he is approaching everything. Look at his positivity. Look at how I do think he's positive. He gets angry fast, but he seems to be, kind of enjoying himself, to be honest. And look at how right he's been on so many issues. Unfortunately, he's had difficult times with his marriages and some of the other issues, but we live in tricky times. So basically they're, giving him royal, glowing reviews. The truth is, come on, it's just us now. They really have the royals don't have any clue. They don't live in the same world that most of us live in. So let me take some of these questions and then we will get to Meghan, because I wanted to set the stage that yes, Meghan's family but it's how Meghan has handled things and Harry has handled things. And that's kind of the topic of this, but his family is not necessarily great. Okay. Hello, everybody. Okay. So all presidents are in the narcissistic. Yes. I mean, you make a good point. Most high functioning, highly, let's say, I want to say successful, but charismatic people tend to have a level of narcissism. Meghan's, according to Samantha, like the interviewer said, hey, would you like to talk to her? She's like, I don't think she has empathy or an understanding for shame for what she's done. She would not even talk to her dad, like after a stroke. I'm sorry. They wouldn't go to Queen Elizabeth's Christmas. There's all of this stuff where it's like, they're just mad at everybody, right? So yes, and Andrew's drama, like that's what he's saying. There's so much drama. I think Harry will big time be ignored and isolated during the coronation. It seems Meghan just trashes any family. And yes, Stephen, totally. She's like a fire. I mean, she's just burning every bridge that she can to get where she wants. And I'm going to talk about that in a second because she signed this thing with William Morris. Now, Harry's not involved, but now she's got this big agency after her because, even if you're a talent agent, like you don't care that maybe she's not the best actress or whatever. Everybody's talking about her because of the drama. So if she knows how to manage the press into like a fury, then they'll want her, right? Thank you so much for the compliment. They stole the monarchy from the red air. I want to make you, thank you, sir Constipated. I know you've got all of that. We got to talk about the Bose-Lyon family at some point, which Mr. Sir Constipated is related to. Betty, and let's see what this is. I like to read all the stuff. Philip's drama, taking 10 children in 1064, never to be seen again, not even a shoe. Yeah, there's some stuff. There's definitely some stuff in, there's some darkness. Why do we care? Every time we come on here, we have one of these comments. But they have buco money and we are not privileged to get a dime. I don't gauge people's value by their money, so I don't really care how much money they have. It is interesting. It's important to discuss. I do think it's important to discuss, but it doesn't matter to me. Okay, so William must pledge loyalty to King Charles and give a speech for Camilla. Prince Harry doesn't have to pledge that loyalty. Okay, so you bring up a really good point. Because every other coronation, if you were a prince, especially within the family, you had to do this whole pledge thing, which would have meant Andrew would have had to have done it too. But this time they don't have to do that. They canceled that part for this particular coronation. So it is true. Like I think William might be the only one, and maybe some of I don't know, some of the people like working with him. But yeah, I don't think he has to. I mean, if you bring up a good point, they used to have to do that, but now, and honestly, there would have been an aspect of that that would have been kind of lovely in a sense. In the fantasy world of, let's say they all got along. This was his dad. Now he's the king. He gets to honor his father, I mean, I think that would have been nice. And I know from some of us would be like, well, we're not pledging anything, but you have your father, it would be a lovely gesture, in my opinion. Okay, so yes, okay, perhaps Meghan's book will be titled How to Lose the Royal Title. Girl, probably. Meghan is now with William Morris, and her agent is the biggest agent. Yes. So I'm putting this out there for you guys too, because we're going to address this, because this is part of this conversation. I love how we go organic. I have these slides, but it doesn't even matter. We're just going organic. Everybody is commenting on how, well, why wouldn't Harry also be represented? Why wouldn't he? I mean, even though he wasn't an actor, he is a celebrity, and they've been inseparable. They've been like this. They had the Netflix series together. They had all this stuff. All of a sudden, she's like it's Meghan is being represented. Why not? Why not? This slide right here, I'm talking about Camilla because I'm really on this kick right now about not forgetting Princess Diana, because there's a lot of irony here about how this couple ended up becoming, the couple, I mean, they ended up getting a divorce, and let's just put Diana's death aside. Like, I think Camilla and Charles, like, they always wanted to be together. They always wanted to be together. So the divorce, I think the goal still at that point was to come together. And it is true that she's probably better suited for him than Diana was, but it still doesn't mean that it's not sad, and yes, Sydney, this is why I like to talk about this. Sydney says this is real-time history. That's why people care. Yeah, because, I like to focus on actual history. And I feel like the past 7 months, I have been talking about history in my shorts, especially, but I've been on this because it is such a rare time in our history. Like, we don't get to see this, a new monarchy. And as Americans, we don't really fully understand it. But even if you're in England, most people have not seen a coronation or a shifting like this. And they've been waiting. Okay. So I don't know if I can get to Las Vegas. I do like Bono. I care about the British Rose because I'm Canadian. Yeah. And so many people are within the Commonwealth, and it does matter because it's been part of the culture. Like, it's a huge culture. If the monarchy didn't exist, it would almost be like the entire governmental structure would shift, even though technically they don't have a ton of power and authority in the government. It would still mean that it's no longer this monarchy, right? So we all have a dysfunction. Yes. Throughout history, the second child is typically problematic. Harry is even more so because the power and the money. And I do think, like, we forget, and I've said this before, because Harry was so likable, and it's hard for us to realize how screwed up he is. But yeah, definitely. I'm going to read something about Meghan in a second regarding this interview because it was important, but I did think it was cute that Kate did mention that they think about Diana like every day. I thought that was really, really sweet. And then we're going to talk about, here we go. We're going to talk about what her new agent says, because we're talking about William Morris. Let me see. William must say, okay, let's read what she says. I, William, Prince of Wales, pledge my loyalty to you and faith and truth. I will bear unto you as your liege, man of life and limb. So help me God. I mean, again, like, if it's just one guy to another guy, like, I feel like that is so deep and so, I don't know. I feel like that is powerful. I really do feel like it's powerful. Okay. Adults have the right to make their own individual. Once you are an adult, you can go where you want. Didn't Sam let someone else raise 2 of her children? How can she judge Meghan's choice? But the thing is that yes, of course we have our choices. We have our choices, but shouldn't we be respectful and caring and loving to people that are in our family? Should, like, I tell my kids, you don't, like, you can write people off. You can totally write people off, but there's an aspect in your family. There are some people where you make a decision and a commitment to work things out. So yes, she has the right. She can say, I no longer want to talk to my dad. But we can also say, wow, wow. Like if somebody just comes up, like when, I'm sorry, but like when Will Smith went and slapped Chris Rock in the face, like some people were like, way to go. But other people were like, wow, okay, he has, like, should she cut off her dad? Should she cut him off? But, and I don't think Meghan is Samantha's perfect either. But Sam said something. She said something like, listen, why was she so ashamed of where she came from? She could have said to the royal family, listen, I'm from an upper middle class family. These are my family members. None of us are perfect, but this is what you've got. The queen loved that kind of thing. The queen liked to have her grandchildren marry commoners. Like that, she liked Kate. She even liked the Diana thing. She liked that. So like, I think that could have, in my opinion, we're just giving our opinion. Of course she has the right. She has the right to do that. But we also have the right to have an opinion and to say, you can say, not you specifically, but you can say, I think she's amazing. Everything she does is great. She totally should have cut them off. They're scum of the earth. Like, we hate them. They were awful. But we're also allowed to go, oh, okay, well, I don't know. So anyhow, I think they are doing the same that Harry and Meghan are doing every day to the royal family, talking about family secrets. That couple is weird. Yes, we do think that, yeah, I mean, there's stuff going on from every single angle. And definitely Camilla and Charles, like the fact that he would freak out over ink on his hand, which, by the way, he has to sign something during the coronation. You bet the guy handing him the pen is going to be like so nervous. That's going to be his job, right? And he's going to be like, oh my God, I hope the pen doesn't leak. That's what he's going to do. So let's read about what the agent says, because Meghan's beautiful. She's totally beneficial to an agency. And maybe their star will come around and shine after this coronation. Maybe everybody will forget about the drama. It'll be a totally different thing. So it says Meghan Markle signed up with William Morris, a Hollywood talent agency, the most famous. Okay, just the most famous. Dwayne Johnson, Serena Williams, Adele. The Duchess of Sussex's team will include Endeavor CEO Ari Emanuel, who's like I think EH said that, one of the highest agents, so they will also represent, okay, I didn't see this part. They are also going to represent Archewell, Prince Harry, and Meghan's content creation label. But why is it put that way? Okay, so why isn't it put like the Sussex's production label? I don't understand. So anyhow, the announcement comes a week ahead of King Charles's coronation, which Harry confirmed he will be attending while Meghan stays home. The agency is expected to work with the Duchess on film and TV production, brand partnerships, and overall business building, but will not focus on acting. What do you guys think of that? I thought that maybe that would include her acting. I thought maybe she would do some romantic comedies. Announcing this news this morning, WME tweeted the photo. I don't have it here. I should have put it up. Sorry. Gorgeous Meghan, as usual, with kind of like an off the shoulder. Her hair is totally back. We all still are waiting to see her natural hair because we want to see a picture of her with her natural hair. A current picture of her natural hair. But this is stunning. They're right. It was stunning. Okay. It's like, okay, cool. Hold on. I'm taking notes. It's like comparing them is in bad taste because their affair never gave their relationship a chance. Yeah, it's like comparing Diana and, are you saying Diana and Charles with Camilla? It's like comparing them in bad taste because their affair never gave their relationship a chance. Yeah, I think I know what you're saying because I totally agree with that. I feel like I kind of clarified this video short that I did because everybody always says, well, Diana had all of these affairs, and she did. She had a lot of affairs, but she came into the relationship intact. She had to have an exam and, had to have her fertility check. And she said she was madly in love with her husband when she was walking down the aisle to marry him. And she saw Camilla out of like she went in there. Intentions were big. Intentions for a happily ever after were huge in her innocence as a 19-year-old, right? I don't think the same was for Charles and Camilla. And that is the core of it, which is what I think you're saying is that having the affair never gave Diana and Charles's relationship a chance. And I'm sorry, but a woman who really I'm a woman's woman. I'm not going to take another woman's man. No, I will support the woman. That's just me. I have 3 sisters. I just get it. I would not do that. And so I guarantee if I was in that situation and I had a guy like that, I would bow out. I would bow out. I would totally bow out. That would have been me if I was Camilla, but I'm not Camilla. He is also represented. Yes, he's represented. I believe I heard Archwell. I know I didn't read that until just now. In this announcement. So yeah, so Harry, so the whole family is represented. So possibly after all of this drama, things would clear out and all of a sudden it'll be like they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. I think this is Meghan's first step toward okay, so now this is the buzz that we're hearing a lot, is that a lot more things in the news right now are like Meghan without Harry. And I know that kiss thing was probably over dramatized when she sort of brushed off his kiss. I don't think it was as dramatic as people made it out to be, but I think there also was something to it. I do. I think there was something to it, but I don't think it was as dramatic as people were making it out to be, but I don't know. Okay, I'm going to read this article and then we're going to get to, let's read. Wait, we're still on Camilla a second. Camilla is tacky. I know. She wore white to Diana's wedding and a white pill box hat. I'm adding that to your comment. Camilla is making the coronation about herself. She is the first queen consort to have her coronation televised. Oh, that's true. And none of us remember seeing Philip's part or whatever. Yeah. So, wow. Okay. That is true. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay. I only get to see the wedding, so I'm super excited for the coronation. Are you going to be there? I really wouldn't care who was getting crowned because I'm American, but I still want to see. I know that's how I feel. I feel the same way. Okay. We're going to read it because some of you, now we're going to talk about the interview. Some of you have seen the interview. Some have not. Those of you who have seen the interview, I really want to hear what you have to say. I'm going to read about it for those of you who haven't. Rehashing the past, Meghan Markle's estranged family sat down for their last interview ever, that's in quotes, which will air before King Charles III's coronation. The Duchess of Sussex's father, Thomas Markle, which, by the way, he had a stroke and he was having trouble speaking even 4 years after. Her half-sister, Sarah Markle, and her half-brother, Thomas Markle Jr., film a segment with Australia's Channel 7, which is set to air tonight. Anchorman Taylor Auerbach sat down with the trio. They discussed their rift with Meghan and shared home videos, which was so gut-wrenching. Meghan, beautiful and adorable, saying, I love you, daddy. I love you, daddy. I love you, daddy. It's just, anyhow. This Sunday on News Spotlight, the journalist tweeted on Wednesday, alongside Meghan Markle, as you've never seen her before, for the first time, the Markles unite with an extraordinary message on the eve of, of King Charles III's coronation. These hidden tapes will stun the world. The unseen footage featured Meghan at her prom, being crowned homecoming queen. The videos from when she was younger. The world has never seen Meghan like this. Obviously, they're trying to promote this. Samantha says, the Duchess has repeatedly claimed she has no relationship with, slammed Meghan for not maintaining contact. Listen, the siblings are most upset because Thomas Markle spent, from the time Meghan, I think, was in 6th grade on, lived with him. He paid for her college, her great education, everything. And then she just cut him off. right? And I know, like, he screwed up. He screwed up, sold, he basically sold stuff out to the press as well. But Thomas mentions it. He's like, yeah, I know it was a huge mistake, but me throwing like I'm paraphrasing, like a pebble in, and she throws, like a boulder in. Like, in other words, he may have done something similar, but her thing is so huge and his was not. And it's very true. So the author also weighed in on Meghan's marriage to Prince Harry, saying they are really unhealthy for each other. It's a toxic relationship. Samantha was very sharp on this. She said that it's codependence, that Meghan was looking for somebody who, with wounds that she could kind of manipulate. That's basically what she was saying. We're not going to go away. I don't know what they really mean by that, even though they said it's their last interview. That was kind of contradictory. This is going to change everything. I don't know if it's going to change everything. He said he ultimately didn't attend the daughter's wedding and announced days before the ceremony that he was unable to fly. He claimed he suffered a heart attack. And so the only person in her family that was there, besides these celebrities who admittedly said they hardly knew her, was Doria, the mother. So I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. Camilla, yes. Okay. Camilla. Okay. Let's get back to Camilla. Married the man she wanted, Parker Bowles. When did she change her mind and become the soulmate? When she realized that he was a sucker for her. Yeah. Yes. So Meghan Markle, who insists people use her real title, only worked for the Queen for 16 months, but will monetize the title forever. Woo, those are some powerful words. Meghan Markle, hang on, wouldn't have looked at Harry if he wasn't royalty. And probably that somebody had mentioned, had she known that he wasn't as rich as he actually is. I mean, he's rich, but not as rich as probably she thought. Listen to Meghan's side of the story. Samantha Markle and Meghan were never close. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But I think they may not have been close, but then saying you're an only child and then changing and saying it felt like I was an only child, even though on the news, on Oprah, she said she was an only child. That still is sort of, hurtful. But I don't think they would have been close, because I know Thomas Markle was like 14 years older than him. I don't know how much older Samantha was, but probably more than that. History is not a truth. Maybe Harry and Meghan know what happened to Lady Di. That is true. I say this all the time. And that's why I have so much freedom. Like when I'm making history videos, is because history is not solid. Like, we don't know everything. We know what people tell us. And so, yes, we are commenting on limited information, and manipulated information from both sides. People are shallow enough to say Diana, blah, blah. She was very beautiful and very fashionable and will be remembered. She accomplished, I think, what she wanted, which was for her to be the queen of our hearts. I think that's the hardest thing with Camilla. I don't think she'll ever get over what I'm calling the phantom ghost of Diana in this relationship. I think, no, I just don't think that people, it's hard. Like for myself, I'm trying, but I still am like, I can't help but not think about the sadness. And that is the one thing for me with Harry that gives me a soft spot for him a little bit. I mean, and again, William, I should have the same feelings for regarding that, but William seems to be handling it a little bit better. But I think of Harry and I'm like, whoa, like I can't imagine like sitting watching Camilla have her moment, really started to pay more attention to the British monarchy with the marriage of Charles and Diana. Yes, we did. And somebody had said that what Charles could have done is he could have done, if he wanted to marry Camilla back in the day, he could have done a thing that like his uncle did, great uncle. Yeah. He could have done a thing like Edward VIII did, but he didn't want to. And his mother probably was like, well, hell no, like, do not like marry this girl, get rid of the other one. I think they wanted Diana to work. Poor Oprah had to sit at family functions with the man who said, just because they're family, what? Oh, no, that's awful. That's awful. That's awful. Okay, is she going to be to WME Ring Girl like when she wasn't? I have a feeling like William Morris will give her, kind of higher end gigs. The royal family members don't need PR firms. They have their own PR people and they don't have to pay percentages. Yeah, they keep their own money. That's like Fergie, Sarah Ferguson. They wanted 20%. Yeah, in some ways, I think Sarah Ferguson probably has a good thing going, even though like her books, I think are mainly like, I mean, I think Andrew was trying to get in on what Fergie was doing. Because Meghan, I think, is a narcissist. So this is exactly what Samantha was saying, that this is why she married Harry. Like narcissists do. Like, do you watch Dr. Romani on YouTube? So she's constantly saying that people that are narcissists will cut people off from their support group, and they'll continue this sort of thing of cutting people off, creating stories, and they will be involved in abusive and codependent relationships where they will, like behind the scenes, like say the worst things and manipulate people to do what they want. And they'll be charming, and then they will correct things after they basically, like bite you or something. Sometimes you do have to cut off toxic people. Meghan wasn't ashamed and probably her shame by their and probably gave her shame by their own actions. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think what Samantha was saying, that she didn't think, Samantha was saying she was a narcissist. So what Samantha was saying, coconut, that she was a narcissist in the sense, and the shame part where she wouldn't be able to feel that shame. And people do feel like the shame. Like if you don't go to your dad, like you need to kind of come back and humble yourself. I wasn't there for you with your heart attack. I didn't even write you a letter after your heart attack. I didn't come to you when you had the stroke and you were in the hospital and you almost died. They're saying, he says some very intense things. He says things like, Thomas, like, she buried me before I was dead. She had me dead before I was dead. She put me in the grave before I was in the grave. Like, because she kept saying, I lost my father. Well, it was on her own hand. It's like this is a dramatic, but it's like, a murderer basically saying, oh, I'm devastated that that person's gone. So it was like by her own actions, she lost her father, because he's available anytime. He basically wants to grovel to her and say, how can I fix this? How can I fix this? When quite frankly, she's the one. And that's probably the problem. That's probably why she's never been held accountable, because he's constantly like, I will do anything for you. And that's probably why she's that way, rather than teaching her to listen, this is your father. Try to show some respect, that kind of thing. And Samantha had a worsening case of MS when she made the decision to ask her parents to raise her kids. Don't fault her for that health-based decision. Samantha is so bright, and so like she's a tough big sister. She's kind of like the big sister that some people should have in order to keep them straight, but she's just telling it like it is. There was one moment when the interviewer did say, hey, well, basically, again, paraphrasing, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. You guys did this and that. And so he did call him out a little bit. And why is she like this? Isn't it because of you? Okay, I remember watching Queen Elizabeth Coronation. As a 6-year-old, one of my earliest memories, neighbor had color TV. That is so cool. You know what? Queen Elizabeth her coronation was very much one of the first that was mainly televised and all of that. So I'm going to have to go in a second, because I think my kids are coming through this brand new door that I'm here. I've talked to some ladies in the UK and Barcelona last week. They don't like her. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hearing. I'm American. However, I love the history of the monarch. Same here. Samantha went on to have another child later. You're looking for a way to excuse Sam. Okay. Well, listen, I think we started this conversation with, nobody's perfect, but I would probably agree with Thomas Markle that there's dysfunction everywhere, but then there's those who basically throw small stones, and then there's other ones who throw big ones. And it seems like honestly, in many ways, Meghan Markle and Harry could have like said, okay, let's just back off of everything till after the coronation. Let's give your dad and your stepmother some space and your brother to just kind of marvel in this thing, like have their coronation. Let's give them some air. We will get back to all of our brand deals and all of our stuff and all the press thing. That's one choice, right? To give them some respect and kind of have a little bit of empathy for what they're going through. Or you do the other thing. You say, you know what? This is everybody's paying attention to the royal family right now. We got to strike while the iron's hot. So let's just bam, 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 bam. Let's just shoot from the hip. Let's keep going at it. Let's just keep, so when Thomas Markle said they're throwing big stones, like more like a boulder, even though we made a mistake. So there's dysfunction. And there's dysfunction that is just downright not only intrusive, but harmful. So I think that's the difference. And I think some of you probably agree with that analysis on it. Okay, so her hair could actually be natural, though. I would love to. Oh, you mean her straight hair? I don't know. I've seen so many pictures with her hair curly, and I'd really love to see it. Respectful loving in 2023. Did you grow up in the household? Of course not. Insecurity is part of Hollywood drama. There is something. There is something. Blessings to Harry and Meghan. And I hope, maybe that what will happen is all of this will turn around, especially with a new agent, maybe better press, maybe better advice, because maybe they didn't have the type of advice. And that's why people like some of us are like, I don't know, like maybe things will come out and they'll start sounding, better. All of the blondes in this thread need to show their natural hair. Well, I'm starting to show my natural hair. That's my natural hair. But I will admittedly say that I've got brown hair. The announcement of the new agency is tacky. She did it before the coronation. It's a publicity stunt. Yeah, this is why I'm saying about the timing. I'm just saying genes determine hair. She may have natural straightish. I don't think she does though, Chance, because we've seen a lot of the pictures. Look, she can straighten her hair. I've got children from Ethiopia with highly curly hair, and sometimes they want to straighten their hair. They love having their natural hair out. I'm just saying that Meghan's almost always with straight hair, and her pictures when she was younger were very, very curly and natural. And we want to see it, not because we're criticizing her having straight hair. She always looks great. That is one thing you will never hear me say, except that she had a wrinkly suit, but which could happen to me, the pink suit that she had like last week. She's beautiful, but we want to see her natural hair. Why? Because she's beautiful, and we think it would be interesting because we like fashion and beauty. That's my reason, at least, not because I'm like, why doesn't she ever show her natural hair? I think she probably look amazing. And also her freckles, like I love her freckles and her nose. They aren't going to want to see a princess making out with anyone except her husband. Look at Princess Grace. She never made, I see what you're saying about the rom-coms, the romantic comedies. That is very true. Well, they did say that they weren't representing her in acting, that they were representing her really more. They were representing her really more for like the brand deals and their production things that they're doing. So I do think it's interesting. Like, why are all the headlines Meghan Markle signed with William Morris? Why didn't it say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex signed with William Morris if it does include Harry? I don't understand that. I really am not clear as to why that happened. Did not. Okay, I'm going to go take a couple more of these. Did not wear white. She wore pale gray. Okay, to be more specific. She did not look happy, Spring. I saw a picture of her. Ooh, she did not look happy at that wedding. Meghan without Harry, just Meghan. She would lose her title, but would probably capitalize on that. Okay, Meghan brushed off the kiss because the media accused her of too much PDA for a royal. Oh, they did have too much PDA in the past, but this is what I think. Okay, this is my opinion. They're always showing too much PDA. Absolutely. But it's appropriate on the Jumbotron at a game. And I heard that the celebrities always know They always know when you're putting them on the Jumbotron. That's a thing in Los Angeles. It's not, you can't like just surprise them. So it just seems odd. But it's possible that we just didn't see the camera at the time that they were kissing or whatever. They clearly were leaning into each other. So I think that's fine. I'm not quite a fan of Charles, but I think we are witnessing history. I like more William. I do too. And that's what Diana said. She said that she thought William was going to make an amazing king. Okay, I'm going to look at a couple more questions. Camilla should have kept away from Charles. This is what I'm saying. But she actually wore dove gray. Okay, yeah, to Diana's wedding. Charles, and I think, just to be fair to Camilla, there were probably more people in that lighter colors. Charles and Camilla share equally in causing sadness to Diana's life. Yes, and that makes me sad. Okay, I think I'm going to look. Meghan's father got a stroke and can't talk, and that makes me very, very sad. He had both. He had a heart attack before the wedding, and then 4 years ago he had a stroke. So he had both, 2 separate occasions, 2 separate opportunities for Meghan and Harry to say, "Are you okay?" None of that happened. And by the way, the kids have like hardly any access to either side of the grandparents. And again, this is something that narcissists do. I'm not the one that's going to be calling her a narcissist, but it is narcissistic behavior. So Samantha Markle barely knows Meghan. Their father wasn't the type who merged his children together. He's the type who moved on after his divorce. Okay. Thomas was done with the world watching. How many viewed Harry and Meghan's wedding? So no, senior action was gigantic, not a pebble. I think all of us watched it. I had received an invitation to the coronation. Would you be my, I'm busy on that day. No, sir, constipated. I will not be in England next week. I would love to be in England, but because of my move and everything, I'm going to be going there, I don't know, in a couple of months. Okay, so I'm going to go. There's so much we could talk about. There's so many great comments. Let's come back to this. I want to welcome everybody because I like every angle of this. Samantha's the narcissist. She insists the media gets so well. Okay, so here's what's a possible point. The guy, I think his name was Taylor. Sorry if I don't remember his name. The guy who ran the interview, he said, "Hey, but why is she the way that she is?" Right? And they're like, "Yeah, but this is what it is." There is some truth to like, is it nature or nurture? So if Sam's a narcissist and Meghan's a narcissist, then it's not the first time that one narcissist calls another narcissist a narcissist. Try saying that 3 times. Okay, I'm going to go. But, and yes, Meghan can wear her hair straight. I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying that I would like to see, you know how sometimes people like will go on Vogue or something, or in Bazaar, or like some kind of magazine, and just do like a totally different type of editorial where they look totally different. I personally love that. I'm not saying she needs to walk around like that all the time. You know, I would love that. I would like if I was a star, I'd probably end up saying, okay, let me go all dark for like one picture because I'm starting to go a little bit more brown. You'll see some of my other videos, very, very blonde. What happened to parents? Okay, guys, I'm going to go. We've got a lot of questions here. I got to head out. And yes, we will just continue this story and we will see. It's evolving. We make these comments. We don't know. We're just people trying to figure it out. With history, the one thing I will say is that it's exactly what one of you guys said. It's like, we don't know everything, and we don't. But I like to analyze things, and I like to see what the stories are. There are a million ways to tell a story. You can tell a story that, listen, because there's something to it. Meghan and Harry, some of the positives are that they're calling out the fact that they're poking the bear so much and throwing big rocks it's bringing out things that people have not thought about in years or known. So that's a positive as well. The way they're doing it can be, a negative. Battle, wartime, transformation is never, like birth into like a new thing is never always just painless. There are things to it. So that should give us a sense of freedom and able to interpret and see what's going on. I mean, we're watching it because it does involve us. It is a part of our lives. It's a part of our current events. So this is just a clip. We'll talk about this another time about how meticulous they're being on the wardrobe. And happy anniversary to Kate and William. 12 years, pretty cool. Thank you guys for everything. We will get back to you again. Have a great night. I really appreciate all of you. And we're going to have a lot to talk about this week. So I will talk to you later. Please do subscribe, share with your friends. Bye.